What you doing, Coral Dawn? You're kind of on top of the world there. Yeah. Hey, I see some legs.
I feel important.
You are important. Hey, Howard here at 82 Maple. And you know what? Not every day at 82 Maple is sun and joy and roses and rainbows. Sometimes the weather conditions are challenging and one just can't dress warm enough or stay dry enough. And other days, it's like, I think I've got an abscessed tooth going on. All I know is that this whole entire side of my head is just throbbing. But hey, we've got work to do here. And the hard part on this little greenhouse build is behind us. And you know what? I'm really happy about that, because it was not my favorite thing to be wandering around up there, stepping from truss to truss, and hanging by my toes on one side and heels on the other. There was a day when that was just normal, but my flexibility is not what it used to be. Hey, there's something I've got to be working on. But let's talk about next steps, where to from here. And I want to give you a couple of little insights on this poly that we're using. 16 sheets of it up, and we're moving forward. And thanks to the warmth this sheeting has already provided, the frozen ground is more workable because we have a little bit of digging to do here before we have the positioning right for the planter boxes. So let's get at it. Okay, so you can see what we've got going on here, and I'll give you the dimensions. The greenhouse that we just that we just came out of is 16 by 10. We're standing in a little area where we're gonna park our riding lawnmower, our regular lawnmower, put some tools up on the walls and stuff like that, relative to gardening and lawn maintenance. And this section is 14 by 10. So we've got the plywood up, we pre-built that wall, we put the sheet up here to stabilize this before we ever went up onto the roof. Now we've got to put some plywood in here. And then there's two pieces of this that I've got that are going to go up here to give light into natural light into this area. And this is the poly that I was talking about. 16 sheets in total used here. And you can see it's double walled, double layered. It's built to take the snow load that we have here, as well as the weather conditions. And you know, by the time we strapped the roof, I would say on average it took us an hour for each one of the 4x8 sheets to be installed. It's kind of finicky to work with, and while it's no more difficult than one, I would say, plywood in terms of attaching it to trusses or wall studs, what is more challenging is when it comes to putting these connectors on to connect it sheet to sheet. Now this is going to be really simple when we put the two pieces up in here, because these are only 2 feet long. And the process is you start it by sliding it. So this is called an H connector. So you can see from the shape where they get that terminology. And you slip this on here, and then you just start sliding the sheet into the connector. Well, all goes really well if you're only connecting a couple of 2-foot lengths or 4-foot lengths, but when it goes beyond that, it becomes absolutely impossible. Even a board on the end here with a rubber hammer tapping away at it is not going to make progress. So the trick is to put some liquid hand soap. You have to be very careful what you use to lubricate this. Incidentally, these sheets, this side is UV protected, so it goes out towards the sun. The other side is not. So it's all well marked. But you have to use some very mild liquid hand soap so that you don't destroy the effects of the UV protection or any of the other properties of this material. And so we were putting this up in essentially freezing conditions, 0 Celsius, so 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And so even the hand soap was congealing a little bit. And so that caused us, that really took some time to work with. That's all I can say. Time and patience, because you'd get the sheet into here, particularly up on the roof, and you've got the top in, and now you're trying to move it down to get the bottom in using a couple of plastic, what would you call them, Coral? Really putty knives, plastic putty knives, or the type of thing you'd use for drywall. And again, plastic better than metal because of the material. And you'd get the bottom coming in and the top would slip out. And so we went through a bit of that. Just when we were getting really good at it, by the end of the 16 sheets, the project was done. But hey, you know what? I was thrilled about that. And one of our sons reminded us, Dad, you built a greenhouse 4 years ago and you said you were never doing that again because of the issues with this material. But it is doable and we're thrilled. And so what do we got on the docket for today? Well, we're going to get the plywood up here, these the light access in here. We're going to put a window in here, and we will no longer be able to walk through this by the end of the day. We're sourcing a sliding barn door for this tomorrow that'll kind of go with the look that we've got going on here. And then just to give you a little view as to where we're going in the future with this, so it's going to be planter boxes inside of there on the opposite side of this. So we're going to do board and batt here and wrap it around this side. And speaking of hand soap, wow, I'm surprised this is still here and that the dogs haven't taken and it had packed it away and buried it somewhere. But that's the liquid hand soap we were using. And so there's where we go today. We're pushing forward, and what a wonderful age we live in. I think back as to what this would have been like 100 years ago on a day like today without Tylenol, Advil, T3s, whatever it is to relieve what's going on in here. It's a great age. It's a great day. Let's do this.